Yeah. You almost humming, bitch.
This kind of like rocks.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Check out that dude in the dress. He's grooving.
Yeah. Whoa, check it out, butthead. She's inspecting their nads.
Yeah. You call those nads, sir? Drop and give me 20.
Yeah. Back in line.
Hit it! Na 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 na. Here come the hot stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. Still have it like that. No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply. Anyone press will hear the fat lady sing.
Welcome, 21st Century Digital Boys, to Geek Salad, episode 244, side A of the Blue episode. By the way, Happy New Year. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
And hey, folks, we apologize for missing out completely on the month of January, but Andy's been busy. We are back, and we are giving you no small feat. We're delivering you our gargantuan two-sided episode here, where we are talking all about the music of 1994. It just stymies me how much great music this year had. Seriously, there's a lot. What a year. But we, as is tradition, we need to start side one off with the Billboard #1 hits. And as is tradition, I'm not going to do any audio drop for it unless we really spend some time. We really have to park on it in order for me to do a drop. In which case you'll know, because we'll do that when we announce the name of the song. Again, another year that is just the polar opposite of everything else.
Well, one thing that, when I was looking over the Billboard #1s, the one thing that kind of stood out to me is that the albums had more impact on me than the #1s did.
Yeah. What's weird about this series of #1s as well, as you will see, is that it comes. I think there's like two songs that actually hit #1 and then go back to #1 after a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's so much good music, yet these are the ones you stick with. And this actually isn't a lot of #1 songs either. And we're going to kick that off with the first #1 hit single of 1994, 3 weeks at #1, Hero by Mariah Carey.
Back when Mariah Carey was an all-around pop star, not just a Christmas music diva.
Oh my! Not just the Christmas meme.
Yeah.
Ugh, good Lord! It's so annoying. It just really is beyond me at this point. I've never liked the song, but every year I continually not like that song.
The funny thing, again, and another thing that really stood out to me about the Billboard #1s is none of these songs really captured the zeitgeist musically of 1994.
No, because they all felt like they came from 1991 and 92.
Right, because 1994 we were knee deep in grunge and all heavy metal and shit like that. And
Speak for yourself.
Or country. In Mike's case.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But even still,
I know this was Garth Brooks' rocket trajectory there, Mike.
Well, actually,
this is also an off year. This is an off year for Garth Brooks because he didn't put an album out in '94. Because Mike won't be talking about one.
He released the greatest hits.
Trust me, I heard plenty of Garth Brooks in 1994 up in Norwich.
Yeah, But yeah, no. When we get into the other stuff too, with the playlist and everything that we put together, it's like this sonic crunch, and yet Mariah Carey sits at 3 weeks at number one for Hero. There's another 3 weeks at number one for the second number one single of the year, All for Love by Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting from the Three Musketeers.
Oh,
Hey,
boy.
if it worked for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, right, Brian? Jesus.
Oh, like the Three Musketeers is in the Disney version?
Yes, the Disney
The
one.
Disney
with,
version with the terrible
you're right.
wings.
The one that
Charlie
I love
Sheen
to
and-
bits.
Yes,
It's
that
okay.
Yeah, I love that movie.
one. Well, in the summer, Mike, you'll have your chance to talk all about it.
I know.
We hit the movies. The song, on the other hand, oh, good Lord. Good Lord. And keep in mind, I love Sting. Around this time, I was kind of like, it's just getting a little not so much, but yeah. All right. Then 4 weeks at number one, Celine Dion's The Power of Love. Not a cover of the Huey Lewis song, by the way. I think I know this song. But yeah, it's Celine Dion. All right, 4 weeks at number one, The Sign by Ace of Base. Which ones were the
man.
Nazis?
Guess who loves this song?
All of them.
Guess who loves this song?
Oh my God. It's
John,
This
John,
was super catchy.
who loves the song? You
this is
or
a Jonna
Joanna?
song, isn't it?
Me.
This is a Jonna song, isn't it?
No,
Oh, you
this
might-
is
no,
me.
this is a
This
Mike
is all
song.
me. I
This
love
is all
Ace of
you?
Base. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
I was in high school at this point, and it hit
Yeah.
me at just the right point.
This was in anytime we'd go up to Burlington to go to the clubs or anything like that, this was
Yep.
the song. And it's just like, stop.
Yeah. Once a decade, Sweden would get their band.
Well, I mean, Roxette kind of crossed decades.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, it's tough because they get big in the late '80s.
Yeah.
It's kind of a tough call. That's kind of a tough call. But yeah, Ace of Base is like the last big Swedish band, and then after that, then the Swedish producers came in and started delivering on some, really interesting, if not good, pop. Because most of the biggest pop singles you hear now are produced by Swedish producers.
Oh.
It's a great documentary on Netflix about that. So, all right, moving on over. God, 4 weeks, really? From Lord Piss himself, Ard Kelly, and it's Bump and Grind.
Doesn't he have an inmate
Jesus.
number at this point?
Yes,
What's
it
that?
does.
Yeah,
Doesn't he have
he
an
has an
inmate?
inmate number at this point. Yeah.
But then,
Oh my
it
God.
blows your mind when you realize that his career lasted that long. I mean, 1994, Jesus. Right.
94. Gee, all right, I just want to point this out. This is still 2 years before Space Jam came out.
I was
this is-
about to ask.
2 years, 2 or 3 years before Space Jam came out, because then, you've got I Believe I Can Fly. But yeah, he had been kicking around forever. So
Now he's pounding rocks literally.
Yes, he is.
Pretty much. Yep, he's bumping and grinding the rock yard right now. So anyway, back. Oh my God, back a second 2 weeks, an additional 2 weeks at number one for The Sign by Ace of Base.
Now we do the key change and go up a bit.
Yeah, I saw the sign.
I said I'm happy now, live without you.
I'm trying to remember if The Sign is the song that in the background, it sounds like they're like waving around one of those air catchers. Did you guys ever have those when you were kids? It was like that big like floppy tube, and you'd whip it and you'd make noise with it like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think The Sign is using one of those to create some of the background.
It's probably
Yeah.
just a synthesizer.
All right. So let's move on then, because we got to talk about the summer of 1994, because it was all, I swear, for all
God.
11 fucking weeks at number one. Imagine like getting through the entire top 40 countdown and still having this like have to be the coda to the whole thing. No wonder
I'm really
I
going
was
to be the outlier on this one. On these guys.
You
Yes,
love this song, don't you?
Guess who's got 2 thumbs and loves this song? This guy.
Yeah. Who swears by the moon and the stars in the sky?
I'll be there.
Oh God.
Oh, man. No, so, Mike, you said you were in high school around this time, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All three of us were in college.
Yep.
Yeah, we were deep. We were
So
deep in our
it's
college careers. This was
Definitely,
94 in
definitely we are all in
94
very different places.
Yeah, 94 encompassed my junior and senior years in the start of my senior year in college.
Yeah.
It was my
Yeah.
sophomore and first run at junior year.
I was still 2 years out from college, so
Yep. Understandable. Dog agrees with us. So anyway, moving on. 3 weeks at number one, and actually a song I actually like. Stay, I Missed You by Lisa Loeb and 9 Stories. I actually like this song a lot because I love Lisa Loeb's voice.
You say I talk so all the time, so and I thought what I felt was simple, and I thought that I don't belong, and now that I am leaving, now I know that I did something wrong, 'cause I missed you. Yeah, I missed you.
Yeah, and this was this song was the closest you could get to an alternative song in the top 40.
Exactly. And I kind of felt like she kind of got that mainstream music disrespect because she wasn't like, she didn't look like a pop star. She looked like she had a flat in Brooklyn. Yeah, she had her cat's eye glasses. You know, she just looked like a cat lady with a guitar. Honestly, there's a single, and I'll probably talk about this in the 1995 episode that she released after this called "Do You Sleep," which is excellent. But this was really good. This came off the Reality Bites soundtrack also. That was its first iteration. A soundtrack that is way better than the movie. I'm sorry if I'm offending any of the 90s people out there. That movie is dog shit. Oh, God, do I hate that movie.
I have to agree. No, I have to agree with you.
Yeah, it's just like, it's every... The thing is that it's just everything... And we'll talk about this later when we talk about the movies, but it just really is everything that they thought they could commercialize for Gen X, and it just... Awful. All right, so moving on. God damn it. 14 weeks. I'll Make Love to You by Boys II Men.
Let me guess, Mike. Do you like this one too?
oh hell yeah!
Oh my
I've
God.
got a soft spot for Boys to Men.
Yeah, and you always have.
Yeah.
But oh my God, my dick is raw just looking at that 14 weeks. Oh my god.
That's all you, man. Don't blame Boys to Men for that.
that sounds like a you problem.
Yeah,
That is-
definitely.
That is definitely a me problem. I don't know. For 14 weeks of making love, I don't know. Just seems like a oof, yikes.
So
Yeah, you
have
can
why?
just picture some dude bro taking some chick up to his dorm room and popping this in on the CD, on the CD player. He turns the lights. He turns the lights off, so he's got his Bud Light neon sign just lighting up the room just right. Come on, we all know someone.
Nice. Not cool enough to have a Crow poster, but
exactly.
definitely has a poster for the Specialist up there. Maybe a Scarface poster too. But yeah, that is cultural appropriation to the nth degree, Joe. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so moving on from "I'll Make Love to You Like You Want Me to." Okay, well, did you have a communication about that first? Or are you just assuming? 2 weeks at number 1, Boys to Men on Bended Knee. We got a twofer for the boys, Dos Men. Yeah. So, I guess you got to make an honest woman. After 14 weeks of making love to you, 2 weeks of on Bended Knee to make her an honest woman. I don't know this song all that much. Is it "On Bended Knee"? It's like the title is a throwaway.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know this song.
It probably appears on a best of though. I would assume. Are they like one of those bands that like they had 2 albums and then released a best of?
I think
did they do that? I feel like they did. Wait till you get a 3rd album out there, or you're hurt.
You can't have a best of. You can't have a best of unless it's at least 4 or 5 albums.
I mean, seriously, what are you, Tone Loc? Yeah. All right.
He's got a best of with 1 album.
So here's a song that I didn't know I knew until I listened to it today, because I'm like, we might actually have to talk about this. I don't know what your feelings are. Here comes The Hot Stepper by Ini Kamoze. 2 weeks at number 1. Na 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 na.
Oh, jeez. I only
literally
know this Land of 1,000 Dances.
Right. But it literally showed up in every sports movie in the mid-90s, though. Like every urban sports movie, just na 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 na. And it's essentially a reggae song that does use the Land of 1,000 Dances sting to it. But I'm like, I listen to it, I'm like, oh, I do know this song, and it's like, I just feel like Here Comes the Hot Stepper sounds like it could be an amazing punk song, but it's not.
The fact that it isn't called "Na Na 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 Na" is just like that's false advertising.
Well, they do actually implement the "Here Comes the Hot Stepper" into the chorus, so it does make an appearance several times actually. But it's like one of those songs that just feels like it just never ends. I'm like, did the song replay on me or nope? Okay, now it's fading out. And then immediately after that, You Spin Me Round Like a Record came right on after that. I'm like, okay, they think I'm listening to dance music now. All right, let's close this out with 1 week at number 1. Returning for another week at number 1 to close out the year of 1994 on Bended Knee by Boys to Men.
I promise I will marry you if you will just make love to me.
Again, for 14 weeks.
You know what? I think he was just begging for 14 weeks, and then he promised to marry her. It's like, please, come on.
And the funny thing with this too is that I figured that maybe that Ace of Base would have had a second number 1 hit, but All That She Wants doesn't appear as the number 1 hit. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are the number 1s. It was, God, what a weak year. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well,
wow.
I mean,
Pop radio.
Well, I know. I mean, you got the stuff you like, Mike,
Yeah.
but it's just comparatively speaking to what we're going to be talking about. We got some face melting to talk about in just a little bit here. And the weird thing is too, it's not just grunge. I feel like, as we ramp up to this, true alternative music really got a spin. Joe, you'd mentioned that Lisa Loeb is the closest thing we got to alternative as a number one song.
Right, but the thing is, it's a reflection of the fact that this was the time. Yeah, the 90s are remembered as the Gen X, the decade of the Gen X generation.
Yeah.
You got to remember, the 90s was when the boomers were starting to come into power.
Yeah.
It was the era of Bill Clinton and the like, and the boomers were the dominant power. So everything in the culture was really reflecting that.
Were.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
They're all
true.
still in office.
They're still in office. I know, but
Yeah, exactly.
so even though at our generation it was, grunge and everything associated with it, the boomers were still in power and they were still driving everything.
Yeah, and still are to this day, sadly.
And still are to this day.
Kind of crazy. All right. Well,
and it all started with the nostalgia for the 60s, God damn it.
Oh, my God. Well, do you remember back in the 80s when it was all 50s nostalgia?
Oh, yeah, it was 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Because everybody
now we're living
baby boomer.
Yeah, now we're living through 90s nostalgia, and I want that to end because, yeah. So anyway, let's cleanse our palates with some social media feedback. We actually had quite a bit, mostly coming from Facebook, which is interesting. So I'm going to read these. Now, some people did bring up albums. If your album was mentioned, there's an excellent chance that you'll hear that album discussed in a little more detail on side 2, which is the second part of this episode. But let's kick this off with Brian Sawyer, who took this gorgeous picture of his vinyl copy of Beck, Mellow Gold, because loser. It is, I mean, this, no, not Brian. Brian's an awesome guy. No, the hit single Loser was all over the damn radio.
Yes,
oh my God. Just, and you just knew it, that bow, 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 down, down. And I didn't know, I figured that this was going to be it for Beck. Like, Beck was going to have like this one big album and that's it. And if you listen to other albums in his discography, my God, guy is damn near close to a genius.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. What's the album? Anyways, continue. But yeah, he's somehow managed to avoid everything associated with his brothers and with the fact that he's a former his family's former Scientologists.
Yeah. It was also funny too when I saw him, like the first time I saw him in a magazine, I'm like, he looks 16.
Yeah, he still looks.
Yeah, he's still. So Brian also brings up and an album we will be talking about in the second episode here, 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral, which I've given to my son, but it is a hole in my own collection. So Brian, hang tight, my friend. We are going to be talking about The Downward Spiral on side 2. No spoilers here, but really there are spoilers. All right, friend of the show, Dave McLean says, if there's any hill I will die on, it's that Nirvana's Unplugged is the greatest live album ever made. It's my favorite record of 1994 and holds a special place in my heart. It definitely is the best live album of the 90s. At the very least. At the very least is the best live album of the 90s. What a way to go out, Yeah. Jesus. It's funny because you don't have like you don't have the crunch of the guitars or everything. Everything is way more subdued. But oh my God, just giving All Apologies a second life, having that great cover of The Man Who Sold the Earth. Both excellent.
That's arguably my favorite song from that album.
Oh, Man Who Sold the Earth?
Yeah.
Great cover. unbelievable cover. But yeah, I love that album, Dave. That was definitely like a, ooh, I have money. It just came out. I'm gonna buy it. All right, then we got Jeremiah Riordan, who says 1994 single Cotton Eye Joe. Discussion suggestion: what is the worst single of all time, and why is it 1994's Cotton Eye Joe?
Really, that came out in 1994.
Believe it or not, it came out in 1994. The song is ageless in the way that it seems like it's too old to be like they should have known better at some point.
I will say it has become a school dance staple.
Oh my God. I remember this. This was definitely one that they would play a lot. It's just, honestly, my opinion of this, it definitely ranks up there as one of the worst singles of all time, so I'll agree with Jeremiah on that. It is just so goddamn obnoxious. I think that might be...
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
It's obnoxious. It insists upon itself, Joe.
Yes, it does. God damn it.
Mike, let me ask you, because you're in high school when this song came out.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on Cotton Eye Joe?
Well, the first time I heard it was probably while I was working at Circuit City in 2000s, the 2000s. So I never heard this song before that. And not going to lie, I thought it kind of slapped. I thought it was kind of fun.
Okay. All right.
I don't think it's the best song in the world, but I have fun with it. I have a lot of fun with it.
Okay. It's definitely a club song. It's my God, mid '90s. I don't know, chemically where at the review tour at, but I know I probably would have thought that song slapped too in my instances in '94.
Yeah, probably if I was like 10 $1 beers in.
Yeah, it's definitely a get people off the chairs and onto the dance floor kind of song.
Onto the dance floor. Hey, everybody, it's nickel shots night. So, all right, Jeremiah, thank you. All right, I got a great list here from Shane Stetcher, who was our pianist for Something Rotten. So definitely, we got the musician. We got the musician kicking in here. Thought this would be a short list, but it got out of hand very quickly. Definitely in my lane, because Shane gets to know me here. Weezer, the Blue Album, which we will talk about later on. Hole, Live Through This, which was one of my honorable mentions. Anybody who accused Courtney Love of just being a parasite on Kurt Cobain's fame has not listened to Live Through This. Live Through This is a fantastic... Honestly, I think Live Through This might be better than In Utero.
Ooh, wow, that's a bold take there, Andy. That is a
bold statement, but it is just it's a very different album than In Utero. Like, In Utero is very introspective. This is just balls out. These songs were written before Kurt was dead, so they were recorded. Everything, it lined up almost as if she murdered him. She didn't, but yeah, it definitely is. It's a really great album. Pearl Jam, Viatology, another album I had on my honorables list. Now, I don't know. This album always slips through the cracks for me.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam.
It makes sense considering what came after.
Yeah.
It.
Yeah, I bought it.
Not only that.
It new. It was fine. It's not my favorite.
Here's the thing about this. It's got some great songs. Corduroy is one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs. Just period. It's one of my favorite songs. But I have these vague recollections of being at parties where a bunch of dude bros would be hanging around a keg with their red Solo cups and sing along to Better Man. Better Man is such a dude bro song that came out in the dude bro era. And just they'd all try to hit the Eddie Vedder Like, I don't know what you want to call that. 30 years. But it's that is what sticks out to me about Viatology, and it's not a great memory. It's a good album. Like, I have it on vinyl. I've listened to it several times. It's a good album, but just coming after 10
Right,
and
compared
versus,
to 10 and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
it's a tough follow up. I mean, again, like you said, it's not a bad album. It's very good,
No.
but yeah,
Right. Exactly. It's one of those things that it's definitely it's a hallmark of their discology, but it's like you have to kind of remind yourself that those songs weren't on verses.
yeah. And it's one of those things like, if forced to choose, I'm going to pick 10 all the time.
Right. All right. Shane also brings up one that's going to be on your list, Joe. Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. He brings up Jeff Buckley, Grace. This one's actually a blind spot for me, and I'm very familiar with it. I'm not familiar with the stuff on the album. I just know that it's a great album. But damn if I can remember actually hearing any of the songs off of it. So it's definitely blind spot.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. All right. And also in our lane here are 3 albums that are definitely getting some breathing room on the next episode. Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies, Oasis, Definitely Maybe, and The Offspring, Smash. Shane, you got to tune in now. You got to listen to the second part of the episode.
Yep.
All right. So now, maybe not in your lane, but not far from it. Blur, Park Life. This was the year that the Blur Oasis feud began.
Oh, God.
It is so the same.
It's the only time the Gallagher brothers were able to focus enough on something else than not beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, exactly. They were able to focus their hate from each other to the hate of another band. The same. I mentioned earlier about the Swedish producers. Same documentary series actually did a thing on Britpop and the feud between Blur and Oasis. It's fantastic. Okay, another one on my list.
I think long run, we know who won that.
Yeah. Next one on my list that will be discussed next episode is Live Throwing Copper, Chef's Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think any of us brought this up on any of our top 5s for the albums. Beastie Boys, Ill Communication.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Sabotage.
No, I know the album. It's just at the time I wasn't really into the Beastie Boys at the time, so it's like my appreciation for the Beastie Boys didn't come along until much, much later in my life.
Okay. And then we got Pavement, Crooked Rain. Honestly, again, blind spot for me is Pavement. I know of them, but not all that familiar. All right, this is going to surprise y'all because an REM album didn't make my top 5. REM's Monster made my honorables, and I like the album a lot, but realistically, it felt like it was destined for the UCD bin. It just felt a little too commercial. Which is, there's some really good songs on there, but it's one of my least favorite REM albums. And I bought it like the second they cracked open the case. I'm like, give me that one.
I guess I'm actually kind of surprised that's your criticism of it.
It's just,
maybe not. You know what? Maybe I should be surprised.
Yeah, it is overproduced. A term that we've used quite a bit, Joe. It's overproduced.
Yes, it is.
All right. Then we got Dave Matthews Band, Under the Table and Dreaming. Didn't realize it came out in '94. Interesting.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I have a feeling that's one of those albums that just kind of like, it was like Appetite for Destruction was released well over a year before it hit big. So maybe that's
it kind of flew under the radar. Yeah, it kind of flew under the radar. And I just remember, like in 1996, it just blew up. Everybody was listening to it.
Oh my God! Well, that's the same thing with Hootie. It was just like this whole, it's all right, man. Get your Birkenstocks out. It's time to rock. Okay. Portishead, Dummy. Don't remember what the single off of that one was, but that was like one of those, like, they play it all the time. Sunny Day Real Estate, Diary. Sunny Day Real Estate, it's got a couple of songs I'm familiar with. One of them showed up on the Batman Forever soundtrack.
Really?
Built to Spill, There's Nothing Wrong with Love. Oh, sorry, Sharon, I'm not familiar with that one. Guided by Voices, B1000. I always feel like Guided by Voices sounds like a church group.
Yeah, it does.
Mike, you have been conspicuously quiet, and I don't know if it's just because you're just politely just nodding your head going, I don't know any of these.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, sorry.
I got nothing.
All right, well, we're almost done, and we're actually going to be dovetailing in just a little bit to some stuff we're going to be talking about very, very shortly. But Shane concludes his list with perhaps far from the mark, but massively influential, in my opinion, Aphex Twin, Selected Ambient Works Volume 2. Wasn't all that familiar with Aphex Twin until I watched a video about them on the YouTube channel Trash Theory, which was pretty interesting. Nas, Illmatic.
Oh, that's on my my husband's list.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that just a couple of moments here. Outcast, Southern Playa de Cadillac Music. I think I pronounced that right. This is Outcast in the way that like the Black Eyed Peas used to be before Fergie. And then Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die. We'll talk about that in a few. And then concluding the Facebook portion, we've got Samantha Gould, who brings up Nine Inch Nails' Closer, which we're going to talk about that a little bit more on the album side, but man, that song is tough to listen to when you get your 10-year-old in your car.
Yep.
Beastie Boys,
Really?
7. It came on the 90s playlist. I had to talk over it every single time.
Yeah, no, that's not a. Oh, yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. All right, Samantha also brings up Beastie Boys, Sabotage. I know this more for the video than anything else. I think
Yeah, me too.
This is great, but my God, that 70s
Cop show, vibe to it.
As
Perfect.
Cochise. Yep. Frente, Bizarre Love Triangle. Oh my God, that song was everywhere. It's a cover of a New Order song.
Really?
Oh, General Public 3, Take You There. Bjork, Big Time. Is it Big Time or Big Time Sensuality?
I don't have this one.
I didn't listen to Bork, so.
It's the second album. Sheryl Crow, Leaving Las Vegas. Wow, that is mid-90s.
I can't believe that got missed.
Yeah, I feel like some of these were like they were released, but they were just kind of like lingering.
Right, yeah.
Tori Amos.
Yeah.
Tori Amos, Cornflake Girl. Into the Pink is actually a pretty decent album, and just saying it out loud makes me just remember how filthy that sounds. Salt
You feel
and
dirty,
Pepper.
don't you?
Yes, I do. Then we got Salt and Pepper. What a man! What a man! What a man! What a man! What a mighty
Wow,
good
that
man.
came out in 94?
Wow,
Jeez.
nice.
This is a loaded year. This is seriously like you get some tortilla chips or a baked potato and you load it with how much great music came out in 94. My God. All right, we've got Beck's Loser, which we discussed earlier. Crash Test Dummies.
Oh my God! Wow,
What was
the
that,
Superman
94?
song. The Superman
That was
song.
94. Yeah.
I hate
But again, but it's one of those things. I didn't hear
I
it
love
until
that album.
1995.
Right. But then again, all right, and this one, Samantha, you just as the resident REM nerd here, Man on the Moon was released in 92. Sorry, Sam. But you did get Lenny Kravitz, Are You Gonna Go My Way? And Elvis Costello, Kinder Murder. So some good stuff on Samantha's list. Thank you so much for listing out some singles. We have one more. And this comes from us at our Twitter, because I'm still dead naming Twitter. And we've got our good pal Kurt Smith at Swayze of Arabia, who brings up, we're going to be talking about this one a lot in episode 2. The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails. Let Love In by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Weezer by Weezer, otherwise known as the Blue Album. We'll be talking about that one in a little bit. Purple by Stone Temple Pilots. Catherine, wasn't this on your honorable mentions?
Yes, it was.
Yes. I love this album. I really do. I think Core is excellent, but just realizing that they knew that they could either be a Pearl Jam Alice in Chains clone or they could be their own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they leaned very heavily into the hard rock aspect.
Yeah. Kurt also brings up Grace by Jeff Buckley. Strangers in Fiction by Bad Religion. We're actually going to be discussing a couple of those singles in just a moment. And then Monster by R.E.M. So, everybody, thank you so much for your contributions for today's topic. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy getting your name shouted out on the podcast. But thank you so much. We are going to get into some more deep discussions on some of that stuff in just a few. But before we do that, I'm going to pass the microphone over to Catherine. Catherine, explain to us what we're doing now.
Oh, my husband wants us to know about his hip-hop picks.
Good Lord, it's been another year already. How did that happen? All right, so this is also Joe coming in with the hip-hop review from 1994. Now, I am very thirsty and ready to drink the haterade because I have missed an awful lot of good albums. These are just some of my personal favorites. We're going to start with The Coup, Genocide and Juice, Fat Cats, Bigger Fish, and the rest of the album, I mean, honestly, play really hard at pointing out the small-time crimes and even gangbanging don't begin to touch the amount of societal harm that comes from white-collar criminals who often get only a slap on the wrist, if that. And let me tell you, Boots Riley has not lost the message in the entire time since then. 30 years still going strong. Another one that's an absolute classic is Warren G, who is just emblematic of the G-Funk era, and who does not love the legendary tune Regulators. Warren G and the sweet stylings of Nate Dogg, R.I.P. Everything about Regulators slaps, from the spoken word intro to telling a coherent story. It holds up so well. It's just a classic. Nas, the entire Illmatic album. It's such a solid album. 9 tracks, no filter, no skits, just a solid bar after solid bar. No surprise about how big he became. Life's a Bitch is a great number. Oh my God. And then there's Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die. Ironic album title aside, it's a hell of an album. The way he tried to brag about how good he had it versus staying humble and remembering his roots, it's a balancing act that shows off a real poet. Things Done Changed was great, and anybody who doesn't recognize the opening dedication to Juicy didn't turn on a hip-hop station in the back half of the decade. Outkast had a great album in Southern Playalistic Cadillac music. Play His Ball's my personal favorite, but the title track and Get Up, Get Out are both bangers. Finally, last but by no means least, Beastie Boys' Ill Communication was the punks from Brooklyn doing it again. Sabotage is still just an incredible party song. Sure Shot and Get It Together are good, no doubt, but Sabotage is an all-time banger. And if you don't like my list, that's really too bad.
All right, well, let's move on to some other singles here. Actually, and Mike, you've been so quiet. I'm just curious, were there any singles that didn't appear on any of the albums that you're going to discuss in part 2? Were there any singles that you wanted to discuss?
Well, yeah, I can take that. I have the Maverick soundtrack in my honorable mention, but I really only have it there for one song.
Okay.
And that one is Tracy Lawrence's Renegades, Rebels, and Rogues.
I'm from the wrong side of the tracks, born to breed apart. You can't tie 'em up, you can't pin 'em down. They're clinging to some old star. They'll chase that restless spirit wherever the four winds blow. But there's another dream just around the bend for renegades, rebels, and rogues. Renegades, rebels, and rogues, eyes of fire, hearts of gold. They ramble till they drop, gamble till the money runs out. They'll take
It's just a really fun song, and the best part about it though is the music video for it, which I'll discuss more about that when we get to his album. Which spoiler, Tracy Lawrence's "I See It Now" is in my album list.
Okay.
But,
okay.
Yeah, he does something really cool with the his music videos for most of his singles released that year. That I'll get into more when we get to that.
Okay.
But the song itself, I mean, Maverick itself was a really fun movie, but the song is it's one of those like high tempo country songs that just gets you wanting to do a square dance.
Right. Okay. Cool. Any other singles from you, Mike?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do want to point out Mike Cicerone, original recipe Mike, was going to join us tonight, but then he forgot he had parent-teacher conferences. So he did have a couple he wanted me to mention. The first one is "Seether" by Veruca Salt. This was another one. I'm like, did that come out in '94? I feel like everything between '94 and '96, you could say it came out in any one of those 3 years, and you would assume you're right.
Wait. So "Seether" was the name of the album?
No, it was the name of the single.
Yeah, it was a song.
Can't fight Seether.
I thought "Seether" was the name of the group, and I thought Veruca Salt was the name of the
No, there is also a band named Seether.
Yeah, butt rock band named Seether, and then
Yeah, but Veruca Salt has a song named Seether.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that just threw me completely off.
I totally get it.
I understand. I totally understand that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who named their bands after a song they liked by another band, and people that make songs named after a band that they like.
Tell them to not do that because it's very confusing.
I'll get right on that, Mike.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I'll type that up on my imaginary typewriter. All right, so Mike also brings up 21st Century Digital Boy. See, I still can't say it. 21st Century Digital Boy by Bad Religion. So this is the version that was re-recorded in '94, ended up on the Stranger Than Fiction album, along with the title track that I mentioned, Stranger Than Fiction. Bad Religion was such a great band. They really were. 21st Century Digital Boy is just like the most commercial thing they could have possibly come out with.
I can't explain it. The things you're saying to me, it's going yeah. Oh yeah. 'Cause I'm a 21st century digital boy. I don't know how to read, but I got a lot of toys. My daddy's a lazy middle class intellectual. My mommy's on Valium, so ineffectual. Ain't life a mystery? I'm trying to tell you about no control, but now I really don't know. And then you told me how bad you had to suffer. Is that really all you had to offer?
And everything just kind of like landed at the right time when MTV was like willing to give small independent bands on labels like Epitaph some airtime. 94 was a really weird year for that. Like you could just turn it on and then you'd get something like On Bended Knee, and then immediately following that you just hear like that, and it's just wow, what a time to be alive. Mike also brings up Gin and Juice, a Snoop Dogg.
That was kind of his breakout one too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
93 when he was part of the Chronic. But yeah, when he released his, there was something came out with before Gin and Juice. Gin and Juice was like, I think one of the last singles, or the first single to come out in '94. But to this day, man, I mean, you know, you got sipping on gin and juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. And then he brings up, the other song from Ill Communication by the Beastie Boys, Sure Shot, which I probably know. I honestly am not the biggest Beastie Boys fan. I know I need to hand in my music nerd card, but
I've already handed mine in. It doesn't do you any good. Don't worry.
yeah, I know it doesn't get me free fries anymore. So I have a couple singles here. Joe, Catherine, do you guys have any additional singles that aren't going to be on record albums we're talking about part 2?
I do.
All right.
Just because I am a softie and a mush, Please Forgive Me by Bryan Adams.
Still holding on, you're still the one. First time our eyes met, same feeling I get. Only feels much stronger, and I wanna love you longer. You still turn the fire on. So if you're feeling lonely, don't. You're the only one I ever was. I only wanna make it good. So if I love you a little more than I should, please forgive me. I know not what I do. Please forgive me. I can't stop loving you. Don't deny me this pain I'm going through. Please forgive me. I need you like I do.
Okay. Mush.
I can't. I'm sorry. I have a soft spot for mushy Bryan Adams ballads, and this is one of his best, in my opinion.
All right. That's
You
fair.
know,
I
but
thought
when
he
you
stopped
put-
making non-movie. I thought he stopped making non-movie songs in on that "Can't Stop With This Thing We Started" album, but from '91. But I could be wrong.
Oh, that comment cuts like a knife.
Oh,
But it feels so
I'm sorry,
right.
Joe. Go ahead. I cut you off, Joe. What's up?
no, that's fine. You know, it's just like I said, I have a soft spot for sugary Bryan Adams, love song ballads. Especially when you just got rejected and you got nothing but a bottle of whiskey and your thoughts.
Oh my God! Yeah, '94 was full of that for me too. So.
Yes, it was. It was for me too.
There is never not a bad time to hear mushy Bryan Adams romance songs.
That's true.
So, Catherine, you got any on your list?
I didn't make a list for this part of the show, but
That's okay.
Gin and Juice did remind me that there's a reference to that in one of the Moxie Fruvis songs. We talked about Bargainville last year because that was when it was released in Canada, but it wasn't released in the States until 1994. So I'm going to throw that out, and I'm done.
Oh man. So all right, so I've got a few here, and now I will point out too that a lot of like the under the radar bands that I became familiar with in 1994 were all thanks to a little show called Beavis and Butthead. They played so much alt rock on Beavis and Butthead that I wanted to I would like the songs. And also this is kind of a weird thing. I picked up an issue of Entertainment Weekly for whatever reason, and inside the magazine was a CD sampler of like 20 songs, all these under the radar songs, And one of those songs was the song Cooling Card by Jawbox, who also had a song on Beavis and Butthead called Savory. The bass line on Cooling Card is just it kicks the song off. It's so crunchy. It's so infectious.
Here as friend, I wish I'd never kissed. Faded hand to mouth as catalyst. Technical and static sender. Second guess my love for danger. Old faces with a hand of 10 by 10. Turn the cooling card. Show your hand to hands up past time for both of us to see.
It's just
Yeah, that was on the playlist you put together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't remember ever hearing it before, but I did really like it.
Yeah, I love the song. I think it's got a great. It's like a quick 2.5 minute song, but it gets the point across really nicely, which I like. And then there was another song came out early in '94 called Scream Major by Therapy.
Your beauty makes me feel alone. I look inside, but no one's home. Screw that, forget about that. I don't wanna think about anything like that. Screw that, forget about that. I don't wanna know about anything like that. I've got nothing to do but hang around and get screwed up on you. I've got nothing to do but hang around and get screwed up on you.
That is just like, for bands that was like still trying to be metal but still wanted to be cool, so they were like just that hard rock alternative. Scream Major is a great song, and then of course I got to have my obligatory Liz Phair mention anytime past 1993. Supernova is like the only single that actually came out from her second album. And it's not bad. It's really not bad. It's got a lot of the same kind of like chutzpah that she put in Exile on Guyville the year before. But this was a wider released album because now people knew who she was.
Right.
So I think that's about it. There's one more, and again, this is just more because I was familiar with it because it showed up on Beavis and Butthead. And then showed up on that CD sampler, Hobo Humpin' Slobo Babe by Whale.
Try to say that 5 times fast.
You know what? That's actually I'm putting it on the list, and you guys are gonna have to listen to it when I release the episode.
Got it.
Because honestly, if you want a song, it's a great punchline. If you're like, okay. What's your the song that you play when you're speeding down the highway? Okay. What's the song that you get your kids to sleep at night? I mean, seriously, it's wild because it's completely in your face. You can definitely tell English isn't their third language. I think they're from a Scandinavian country. I could just say Sweden just to make life easy for us. But oh my
that's
god,
a Scandinavian country.
oh my god, yeah, it's going to show up somewhere in the episode. Maybe I might surprise you with it. All right, so if we don't have any other singles, I do want to take one little side note here before we wrap side one of this album podcast. And I just want to talk about how 1994 was a fantastic year for movie soundtracks. Now, we did a movie soundtrack episode, good Lord, about 5 years ago. You can go back and look for it on your podcast app of choice because it should be there. And that's actually, we had Todd with us when we were doing that one.
Yep.
But my God, just looking, I just did a rundown of all the different soundtracks that came out in '94 that still like grace our collections today. Stuff like Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so good.
That is a really good album.
Yeah. I mean, this is also the time, too, when they were releasing albums, like they were releasing soundtrack albums, but putting like little clips of dialogue from the movies in them. And this is one of them. You know,
Don't any of you fucking bitches move, or I'll shoot every motherfucking last one of you.
Like the last one of you. So you got Pulp Fiction. You've got The Crow. I mean, that one still shows up as like just you still got it. You still talk about it. You still listen to it. I already mentioned Reality Bites earlier because of Lisa Loeb, but there's still a lot of good stuff on there as well. In fact, I mean, other than that, "Baby, I Love Your Way," that Peter Frampton cover, which is the weakest song on there. There's some good stuff. There's a really good Crowded House song on there called "Walked Out," which is fantastic.
Oh, what about the Clerks soundtrack?
Oh my God, the Clerks soundtrack.
That soundtrack was my introduction to like a whole world of alt and grunge rock.
Oh my God, just like these bands that sounded like they were working off the same credit card that Kevin Smith was using to make that movie.
Oh, and No Time for Love, Dr. Jones, and breaks right into Got Me Wrong. Oh, that is my favorite transition of all time.
Exactly, like the one band they could afford to get. Yeah.
I actually do love the Clerks soundtrack. It's totally doesn't seem like it'd be my thing, but like Chewbacca is fantastic, and oh dang,
well, there's Berserker.
I was trying to remember that.
My love for you is like a clock berserker. To make some suck, making fuck berserker.
Did he say making fuck?
Come on, man, Berserker.
Does he sing in English or Russian?
In English. Come on, Berserker. Girls think sexy. I'll watch. Wait, he's gonna sing it. Watch, it's too funny.
My love for you is like a clock berserker. Would you like some making fuck berserker?
That's fucking funny, man.
Did he say making fuck?
The song that they play while they're playing hockey on the roof.
Oh. Good Lord, now you're going to make me look this up.
It's not. I keep wanting to say Spinal Tap, but I know it's not Spinal Tap.
It's not Spinal Tap. Well, there's also Chewbacca.
Yeah, I mentioned that one, yeah.
Yeah, all right, let's see. Kill the Sex Player, Panic and Cicero.
No.
Shooting Star. Leaders and Followers. Oh, this is a playlist. All right, Clerks. Got Me Wrong, Chewbacca, Panic and Cicero, Shooting Star.
It says Smack. Smells Love Among Freaks.
Okay.
Is my internet
it's not showing up on the... Okay, so I'm just looking
without actually clipping into any of the YouTube clips.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got to pull it up here.
Okay.
Where's the soundtrack?
But it's so great because other than like the Soul Asylum song and the Alice in Chains song, everything else on it is so lo-fi.
That's it. The Soul Asylum song.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't even tell.
Can't even tell.
Okay.
I love that song.
Yeah, Kevin Smith had a thing for Soul Asylum for years. They showed up in a lot of his soundtracks. We've got the Dumb and Dumber soundtrack. Now that sounds kind of silly, but my God, what a great! I mean, there's a lot of great music on that soundtrack.
I originally, I think I bought this specifically to get New Age Girl, and I bought it from the Columbia Record Club.
Oh, you did not.
Aren't you fancy?
Oh, I was in the Columbia Record Club.
We all were. We all were.
Yeah, we all were.
We all were.
Yeah, I think I owe BMG a kidney, but
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, seriously,
trying to tap out, and they're like, no, we're not going to charge you monthly anymore. We'll only charge you for what you buy. We swear.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. I mean, Ballad of Peter Pumpkinhead, which is the XTC cover that's done by Crash Test Dummies. If You Don't Love Me, I Kill Myself. Where I Find My Heaven by Gigolo Once is a really good song. Oh my God, Green Jelly had a second song, the Bear song. You Sexy Thing by Delight. Get Ready by the Proclaimer. There's a lot of good stuff on that soundtrack. What else do we have here? We've got the Lion King.
Oh yeah, can't you feel the air? Can't you feel the love in the air tonight, there, Andy?
I can, Mike. Can you feel the love tonight?
Yes, I can.
Hakuna Matata.
But not just for the songs, but Hans Zimmer's score for that one is just unbelievably great.
Right. And this is back when Disney used to release everything as one, so you get the score and the songs at the same time.
Yep.
Another one. All right, so this is one I remember having a lot of fond memories for. I haven't gone back to listen to it in ages. I'm sure it sucks now. It's the Natural Born Killers soundtrack. Because my opinion of Oliver Stone has just turned to absolute rotting garbage in the last 15, 20 years. But I remember the soundtrack being interesting. Yeah?
Yeah, the soundtrack is very interesting. I did own this one, and then I like made my own mixtapes and stuff, and I cut out the bit where it's like, that's the worst fucking head I've ever had in my fucking life. Next time don't be so fucking eager. And then I cut in with Kermit going, don't worry, I won't.
I thought you were going to say, I turned it into my ringtone.
Nope. This was a mixtape that I made combining a bunch of crap, and I was like, I like this mixing sound bites thing together, and I like, and I think I'm gonna get weird, and I like around the same time I bought like the Muppet Beach Party album.
You're making audio memes before it was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
Way to go. All right, we've got one more soundtrack to go through here. This was standard issue for every boomer I know. The Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, God.
I am still proud that I have never seen this movie.
Good for you.
We're going to... I will let my true thoughts be known come the movies of 94.
I'll say it now. That's like 2.5 hours I can't get back.
Let's just say I will be sighing heavily and wearily.
There'll be a lot of eye rolling
throughout the yeah. Just letting you guys know now proactively that I'm not having an asthma attack. That's really all I'm go with here. So, good Lord. All right,
you have an asthma attack and we won't know the difference.
I will text you.
Okay.
So you'll know I'll have an asthma attack when you hear on Mike's side go, I see you, and then...
I've got my phone muted now. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Great.
Once was enough.
So anyway, folks, that is the singles and the soundtracks of 1994. So we're going to flip the record over, and we will have the second part of our discussion. It'll be released in roughly about a week to 10 days from the time you're listening to this now. I want to thank everybody who contributed to this via social media. Also, Joe, thank you so much for letting us know as well of your favorite hip hop hits. And folks, thank you so much for your patience as you waited for us to get a new episode out. I know the wait has been long and arduous, but now I take a break from theater so we can put out more episodes. So, with that said, folks, you can check out our past archive wherever you get your podcast. So, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts up until April 2nd, in which case then you got to go over to YouTube Podcasts.
Yeah.
I still don't know how I feel about that. I am literally waiting until that day to switch over. I'm still on Google Podcasts right now for all my podcasting needs.
Yeah. So much easier to use.
So much easier. I love their interface. I hate that I have to change it. But you can check us out wherever you get your podcast. We also host a YouTube channel, Geek Salad Podcast, where Mike and I do weekly retro movie reviews. Currently, and probably when you listen to this episode, we will still be talking about our look back at some of our favorite Best Picture winners of decades past. So that's going to be a fun conversation. We've already done one. As of this recording, there are more to come as well, which will be fun. And if you like what you hear and you want to get to know us better, you can follow us on the socials. We're at Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast and at Geek Salad Radio on Twitter, on Blue Sky, and on Threads. I got to get better at using Blue Sky. I swear to God. I apologize. I think that's everything. So anyway, folks, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Catherine.
Go forth, be nerdful, flip that record over, and we will talk to you in about a week. Take care. Welcome, 21st Digital We're doing that again.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Welcome, 21st Digital God damn it.